Are you ready to start paying off that student loan debt, but you don't quite know how to begin doing so? Well, in this video, I'm going to be covering exactly how to do that. 7 steps proven to get you out of student loan debt quickly so that you can begin your journey to financial freedom and ultimately on your way to building wealth. Coming up. Hey, what's going on, guys? Trey here. Now, welcome to the channel that is specifically dedicated in getting you out of debt quicker so that you can begin your journey to financial freedom and ultimately begin building wealth. If this sounds like something that you may be interested in, please subscribe to the channel as it helps this channel to grow so that I can continue making videos just like this one. On this video, we're going to be discussing how to get you out of student loan debt quick. In the comments down below, put if you are in student loan debt and if you plan on crushing it here in 2020 leading into 2021. Now, the facts are that over 70% of today's population are in student loan debt, which is a staggering figure. And if you are anything like many others, you don't quite know how to get rid of that student loan debt so that you can become financially free. And that is exactly what we're going to be covering today. Without further ado, if you're ready, let's execute. All right, so step number 1 in the 7 steps of paying off that student loan debt. Figure out how much you owe. I know this sounds like a relatively easy step, but you will be surprised and amazed at how many people have no idea exactly how much they owe. It's actually a common practice that you see amongst people who are in debt. And the theory behind it is you get so overwhelmed with being in debt that you tend to just ride the wave, forget about the interest, pay your minimum payments, and hope that it goes away. Unfortunately, that debt will not just go away on its own, and you have to implement some very strategic plans in order to make it go away. Now, step number 1 is very crucial because you have to know or have an idea of exactly what you're paying off. Many people would just take a wild guess and say, I'm $30,000 in student loan debt, when in actuality that number is closer to $60,000. Definitely want to take the time, give yourself a fighting chance in paying that debt off. So step number 1 is figuring out exactly how much you owe. So step number 2 in paying off that student loan debt fast is determining the best payment method. 2 of the more popular payment methods are the debt avalanche and the debt snowball. In this video, I went over the debt snowball and how to properly execute it. And in this video, I went over the debt avalanche. The debt snowball focuses on paying off the minimum principal balance first and working your way up to the highest, to whereas the debt avalanche focuses on paying off the highest interest rate first and working your way down. You need to be strategic in determining which one works best for you. It's not about what anyone else chooses. It's about what your specific financial situation is and which payment method is going to work best for you. For example, let's say that student loan is the only debt that you have. Then you might want to consider the debt avalanche method in paying off the highest interest first. However, if you have multiple streams of debt, you may want to consider the debt snowball method. A lot of it is going to be centered around what your personal financial situation is. Step number 2 in paying off that student loan debt is determining the best payment method. So step number 3 in paying off your student loan debt is choose the right federal repayment plan. Generally speaking, you're going to start off on a 10-year standardized plan. If you can, and if you can afford the payments, stay on the 10-year standardized plan. It's the best and the quickest plan in getting you out of student loan debt. Your monthly payments may be a little bit higher, so if you can afford it, then stay on that 10-year plan. However, if you're having difficulties with meeting your monthly payments, then you may want to consider some other repayment plans, such as the income-driven plan or even consolidating for that matter. With the income-driven plan, you may be able to make lower payments. However, your payoff time will increase to 20 to 30 years. Now, in terms of consolidating, you don't really want to go that route if you don't absolutely have to. So what I will say in determining the repayment plan is if you can stick with the 10-year standardized repayment plan, then stay with that plan. Any debt that we're talking about, we want to pay it off as quickly as possible so that we're not paying interest. The interest is what's going to kill you in the long run. Step number 3 in paying off that student loan debt fast is choosing the right federal repayment plan. Step number 4 in paying off that student loan debt fast, start paying ASAP. Step number 4 actually has 3 different steps in it. So we're gonna start off with, as soon as you figure out your payment method, the repayment plan, and how much you actually owe, you want to start paying on it as soon as possible. The quicker that you start paying, the quicker you can pay it off. To go along with start paying it off as soon as possible, you also want to consider paying more than you owe. Instead of paying the minimum balance, you want to try paying double. In this video, I went over some side hustles where you can make $100 to $400 extra per month so that you can start paying off that student loan debt. Check that video out after this one. So along with starting to pay as soon as possible, and in addition, trying to pay more than you actually owe, you also want to enroll in Autopay. The reason being is you'll get a discount when enrolling in Autopay. That discount won't be significant. I think right now the going rate is 0.25%, which over a 10-year period will probably save you $500 to $700. I know you're saying, oh, well, that's not really that much when I owe $20,000. When considering that you can get into investing with as little as $100, $500 actually goes a very long way. Step number 4 is start paying as soon as possible, start paying more than the minimum balance, and also enroll in Autopay. Another thing to take into consideration is that student loan debt has subsidized interest, which means unless that loan is deferred, like most student loans currently are due to the COVID pandemic, you're going to pay that interest regardless. It will accrue. So the quicker you can start paying it off, the better for you. So step number 5 in paying off that student loan debt. When you start making additional payments to pay off that student loan quicker, you want to contact the lender and let them know that you want the overpayment to go towards the principal balance. The reason that this is so important is majority of the time when you make overpayments and your intent is to pay towards the principal balance, the lender will post the overpayment towards next month's payment instead of the principal balance. Instead of you paying it off quicker, it actually goes towards the interest. You want to ensure that whether that be by mail, online, or by phone, you contact that lender and let them know, hey, I want all of my overpayments to be applied towards the principal balance. All of your hard-earned money needs to go towards the principal balance and not the interest. So step number 5, contact the lender and let them know that you want all of your overpayment applied towards the principal balance. Step number 6 in paying off that student loan debt quicker, consider refinancing. There are 3 guidelines that will put you in that category of individuals who should be considering refinancing, and that is if you have a plus 600 credit score, if you make $50,000 per year or more for your salary, and if you have an impeccable payment history on your credit. If you're missing any one of these 3, then you don't want to consider refinancing. If you do meet those 3 particular states of criteria, then it may actually benefit you in refinancing. You can refinance a lower interest rate so that more of your hard-earned money will go towards the principal balance as opposed to paying off a high interest. Step number 6 is to consider refinancing your student loan. All right, guys, so the last and final step, stay motivated. It can become very disheartening when initially you don't feel as though any of the debt is being paid off. Regardless of which payment method you choose, it's essential and critical to stay motivated. Watch videos such as this one. Watch videos that give you motivation. Talk to friends who have already paid off their student loans or who are currently doing so. You're gonna get in your ruts where you feel as though you're not paying it off quick enough, or you see other people who are paying theirs off and who are on their financial freedom journey. The mere fact that you're even watching this video says that you are already on your way to financial freedom. Continue staying motivated so that you can begin paying that student loan debt off fast. All right, guys, there you have it. 7 steps in paying off your student loan debt fast. If you felt as though this video has been helpful in any way, please subscribe to the channel as it helps this channel to grow so that I can continue making videos just like this one to help you get to financial freedom quicker. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to watch this video, and until the next one, I'll see you later.